People, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. This is your midday live. We are here on a midday talking all things football. I know you're probably thinking, where is Lee Gunner? But we'll be here any minute, people. Don't worry. The main event is here. I know you all came for Lee Gunner and you wanted to press him on certain things, but he will be here any minute. He's just running a bit late. We got man like LB in the building. LB, what are you telling me? What are you
All
telling
good, man.
me?
I'm fine, bro. I'm fine. I know it is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? Little pre-season game didn't go to plan. Didn't manage to get our hands on the big trophy, man. You know what I mean? Didn't
Shit.
quite do it, but
Tell him.
I got it here for Lee, man. I got it here for Lee in case he wants it. But yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
Yeah, man. Big up to you. We got man like Saga in the building. Harry Kane scoring 4 goals. Listen, man, he wants to stay, right? He's scoring goals for fun at Tottenham. What's going on?
He's staying. He was going yesterday morning. Now he's staying. It's look, the saga. Just someone needs to just come out and say, someone, the club, him, someone just needs to come out and say, I'm going to Germany. I'm not going to Germany. Someone.
Yeah, nah, big up, man. Big up to everybody here. Like I said to you, Lee Gunner will come in here anytime soon. Make sure you smash the like button on the video, people. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. But yeah, let's start off with you, LB. Arsenal won it in penalty shootouts. The new rule of what do you call it? The new rule, added time or whatnot, allowed them. Obviously, I think you got Kyle Walker and Party clash heads, but really and truly, extra time, they won it. Obviously, they got to the penalty shootouts. But what are you saying, man? How are you feeling after that? Anything that you want to say? Anything that you want to analyze about that game?
Well, I'm chill, by the way. I'm completely chill. Like, you know what I mean? I find about it, like, there's a couple of actually big takeaways from that game. Like, obviously, when Lee comes on, I don't know what it's going to be like, man. I'm not sure if it's going to be a pain in the ass, but there is some serious takeaways, actual football, proper football chat that we could have about that I think everyone needs to look into. First of all, obviously, you've got the issue with the referees. With the yellow cards for like kicking the ball away, shit, like they're going to go ham on that this season.
Yeah.
So that is something that I think all players need to be really sort of like looking into. The added time as well. This is going to be our madness, because what it's going to do is, first of all, obviously for teams like City, Arsenal, Liverpool, teams who are like pressing, if they do find themselves drawing or like losing late on, like they're going to have a lot of added time to sort of keep putting that ball into the penalty area, and teams are going to have to get used to not dropping deep quicker than they used to do. Because of course, in last season's football, in previous years, you might get 3 or 4 minutes added time. So you might start dropping deep 88, 87th minute, 88, 89th minute. Yeah. And you probably have like 5 or 6 minutes to sort of hold that position. Teams might now have to start delaying that a little bit later, because otherwise you're going to be basically sitting back inside your own penalty area for 15 minutes with balls just being whipped into your box for 15 minutes. So I think teams are now going to have to be braver when they're drawing or winning against like a bigger team, or what? Not even necessarily a bigger team, just winning. You're going to have to be braver and hold a higher line for longer. I know naturally you do want to drop back. Don't think that's going to be possible. And then just basically on the City point of view, we've seen this a little bit in pre-season, but City going to have Kevin De Bruyne or Phil Foden in the middle. We will, of course, because Kevin De Bruyne is now back from his injury. But we've seen that a couple of times now this season, where we've had no Kevin De Bruyne and no Phil Foden in the midfield, and we just don't create anything. So I think Pep's realised that going forward, we are going to have one of them in there. But on the whole, man, like some positives to take, some interesting sort of referee changes. And I'm ready for it. Like I say, I ain't really that. Oh yeah, Lee. Hey Lee, look what I got for you, bro. There you go, man.
He's got it for you there. It's not silver though. It's not silver.
Well, we're going to win it all, man. We're going to win it all. Listen, if we had lost, it would have been pre-season. It don't matter. The real stuff starts next week. But now we've won it. Oh my days, mate! Yeah, best team in the world. We've just beaten everyone. Like we can do it. We're going to win the league. And when we ultimately don't win the league, these idiots are going to be sitting there licking their wounds as per usual. Yeah,
Mm.
it is what it is. Yeah, they hype up everything. Yeah, Kai Havertz, by the way, can I just say what an awful footballer that guy is?
Mm. You know what? I want to give a bit. The thing is with Kai Havertz, yeah, I think he did the basics well, but the problem is though, Lee, he ain't a good finisher. So it's like it kind of counteracts everything. It's like you can't really be a kind of forward player if you can't finish. So I'm like, really and truly, you need a striker. Arsenal need a striker right now. So you've got at least 20 days to find a striker because Jesus is out for a while. It's
we
not
don't
reliable.
need a striker, man. I've been telling everyone since the end of the season we need a striker, but no, don't worry, man. We got Trossard, got Martinelli, we've got Eddie, yeah, we've got Jesus, we've got Havertz. You know, Saga can play there if needed. Like we've got it covered, mate. We're sweet. Like it's not like all the top teams in the world have a top striker, is it? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we're fine, mate. Listen, we got the best of the best in every position. You know, they're all versatile. They can play 3-4 positions. I don't see any reason why we ain't going to win the league. Kai Havertz is the next Kaká. He's the next Bergkamp. He's the next RVP. You know, Urian Timber's the most silky footballer you've ever seen in your life. You know, the goalkeeper we're bringing in, wow, he was one of the best keepers in the world last year. Like, I don't understand why nobody wanted him at Arsenal. I don't understand it. Not a single person mentioned him. Yeah, but do you know what I find funny? As soon as we're linked to a player, this fan base that are full of weirdos, right? This fan base, their actual feelings and opinions on the player that we already have in that position finally come out. And they're always aligned with what I've said the whole way through. It's crazy, isn't it?
Just afraid to say it. That's what it is. Yeah, you're right.
I thought Havertz played all right yesterday in terms of his overall ability, but like Lee said, he did have 2 big chances. The first one maybe is difficult. He should have backed the second one, but I mean, it's like we've said on this stream many times. It was a massive gamble getting Havertz, and it's got to pay off for Arteta. Otherwise, people at the end of the season were like, "Why did you spend 65 million quid on Havertz?" So it's a lot of pressure to put on himself. Arteta. I don't know really why he did it, but I've got to say, I thought he played okay. But like Leo Said said, that he should have scored at least one. At least
that's the difference, though, Lewis. Yeah, if that's Harry Kane, he gets both. Yeah, or at least one of them.
Yeah, easy.
No messing. 1-0 up or 2-0 up, and that is the difference between winning the title and not winning the title. Yeah, you lot have got Haaland up front. He's going to bag 30+ league goals. Yeah, Sava's team have currently got Harry Kane. He's going to bag another 25-30 league goals. Yeah, and that's the difference. When you look at top teams around the world, I know he's not there anymore, but Benzema, we know he's a striker. He'll float out to the left, but Real Madrid had that focal point. Barcelona have got Lewandowski. Yeah, Tottenham have got Kane. You lot have got Haaland. Top teams have a top striker. Yeah, they ain't mucking about. You get a top striker up front, then you chip in with all the other goals. Yeah, and listen, we're trying to chase you down, and we're poncing around with Eddie and Nketiah. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. Eddie Nketiah and Kai Havertz, they're nicking 400 grand a week between them.
Can I ask a question, Lee? Can I a quick question, bro? On do you know the goalkeeper situation? Because I like Ramsdale. I've always liked Ramsdale. I think he's a good goalkeeper. But and then when you're looking at signing this Raya guys, I was a little bit confused. However, yesterday there was a couple of times, weren't there, where Ramsdale didn't look comfy on the ball. He almost let a poor touch, almost went in the net. He kicked the ball to I think Kevin De Bruyne on the edge of the penalty. De Bruyne on the edge of the penalty area, which I think he did actually against City last season. Well, what you're saying with this Raya thing is he going to replace Ramsdale here? Because
hopefully, Ramsdale is just a passion merchant and camera save merchant. That's it. Like, let's be real. Yeah, he ain't that good. Yeah, and this manager didn't wanted Raya in the first place. Yeah, he was after him when he first got here. So hopefully he does come in and replace him, because all he does, Ramsdale, is just the odd camera save. Yeah, and it looks amazing. Like, he made a good save against you lot yesterday. Yeah, but again, his kicking is not great. And I believe in goalkeepers that can actually just do their job. Like, all of this, he nearly got chipped, by the way, yesterday. And do you know what's crazy?
Yeah, I seen that. I was waiting for that, because I was like, oh, Anana got chipped. So I was like, I need Ramsdale to get chipped as well.
Did you see he weren't even that far out? I don't think he was even out the 18-yard box. Why did he make that look so awkward, the way he was running back?
Yeah.
Yeah. At least with Anana, he was 35 yards out and he's running back. But Ramsdale, even the one where he got chipped against Sporting, looked sus. He weren't even that far out that day. Yeah, and it's just like weird, mate. I've said from day one, listen, he's probably exceeded expectations, because we all thought he was crap when we signed him. Yeah, he's not crap. Yeah, so he's exceeded expectations in that sense. But bro, last 8 games, he was the reason we lost the league. Yeah, one of the reasons anyway. Yeah, him, Saliba being out injured. Yeah, Thomas Partey running around like a headless chicken, cleaning up Rob Holding's mess. Yeah, Saka disappearing. Between them lot, they cost us the title. So I like the fact that Arteta's being ruthless. Yeah, but now do it with other players, because other players in that team just genuinely ain't good enough, mate.
Let me ask a question to Saga, and I'll come to you, Lee. Has that game shown us anything about Arsenal? Obviously, mental edge, the first win they've got over Man City since 2020 in the FA Cup semi-final. Did you see anything in that game, or is it just a glorified friendly? Because I thought the pace of the game, it was too tactical, a bit too slow. I don't know, man. I didn't really see much. I seen Timber. He had a magnificent performance. But in terms of the game, did you see anything? Or does this mean anything for Arsenal?
I mean, there's loads of different ways of looking into it. If people want some bragging rights, then sure. But let's be really, really honest. We had this at the beginning of last season when Liverpool beat Man City, and Erling Haaland was the biggest flop in the world. You know, there's no way Erling Haaland can handle the Premier League because he missed a couple of sitters in the Charity Shield, and Man City won't be the same this season because they've lost this player and that player. And then they went on to win the treble. So I feel for me, it's great for knee-jerk football fans. I think it's brilliant for those football fans. Take it, have the trophy, great, that's brilliant. But listen, it's all about what you do in the season, isn't it? If after 10 games, Man City are 15 points clear, it doesn't really mean anything. So look, it's good. It's a good barometer. It was a good game. I thought 2 evenly matched teams, so to speak. But as far as I'm aware, I don't think Man City have played a lot in pre-season. I don't think they've had many games in their legs, and it started to show, I thought, towards the end of the game. But no, I never read too much into Charity Shield. Henry was telling me some stats the other day that the team that wins the Charity Shield often don't go on to win the league. Yeah. But I don't know, mate. Listen, it is what it is. It's a as you said, it's a glorified friendly between 2 very good teams. I don't think you can lay a whole 38-game season on a penalty shootout. So that's just me.
Well, we ain't got penalties next weekend, or this weekend coming, have we? So we better get the job done.
Who have you got? Who have you got to start?
Nottingham Forest. Who have had a should be easy nightmare pre-season. So we should. Yeah. We should. But then, like I said, if we got Kai Havertz up front, good luck. If that's how we're going all season. If that's how we're going all season, mate, we ain't getting top 4 with him up front.
Bro, listen, something needs to be gone. Obviously, Balogun will probably end up leaving, and then it'll be Eddie Nketiah and Kai Havertz. I thought he would have played Eddie Nketiah up front and just give himself a bit of mobility up front, and you know what I mean. But the problem is, though, Lee, we're in a game where Arteta likes his system. He likes the fact that Havertz can drop in, and he wants everything but a striker, and that's what he's done with Jesus. Really, Jesus has not been a prolific goal scorer, but he's been one to facilitate for others. But is that enough for you? Like Trossard, Trossard's a baller, by the way. Listen, he needs to play more.
Since Trossard's been there, nobody's got more GA than him. Yeah, yet he keeps sitting him on the bench. So it makes no sense to me. Yeah, look at yesterday, right? In the stoppage time, I can't remember who played the ball. It was a great ball up to Eddie Nketiah. His first touch was immaculate. Yeah, brings the ball down, and now I'm like, right, turn and drive at the defence. We're in stoppage time. Yeah, at the end of the game. And I sat there with Ola and Matty, and I was like, why is he the only Arsenal player in the picture? We're in the 103rd minute or whatever it was, or 91st minute or whatever it was. And I was like, he is literally 1 against 8 people. We should be throwing everyone forward. Yeah, but we didn't. Yeah, eventually we got the goal. The reason we got the goal is because we actually had a pot shot. Yeah, because nobody else was going to have a shot. Yeah, let's be real with it. Like, it was only Trossard that thought, solid, I'm having a shot. Like, bro, you're right about the striker situation. He wants everything but a striker, which is why we ain't winning nothing this season. Yeah, I'm being real with you right now. We are not winning nothing this season. We ain't winning the league. We ain't winning the Champions League. We don't care about the League Cup, according to Robbie. Yeah, so that's the FA Cup. That's it. We've got the FA Cup to go for. That's it. And we ain't winning that either because he'll put all of his eggs in the Champions League and league basket. It's round and round and round and round we go, and this fan base is sit there with their pants around their ankles again if we get Champions League next season.
You know what, Lee, though, yeah? I remember when you signed Jesus, right, and he got off to a mint start in pre-season, started the season well, but I said it last year, man. I said at some point, Arsenal fans, and some people might not be on this yet. I said at some point, Arsenal fans will realise that there's only so long that you can say. I know Jesus is injured at the moment, right? But there's only so long that you can say, "Oh yeah, but it brings the best out of the other players." At some point, you need your striker to score goals, and I just think it's interesting how Pep obviously ran with a false nine system and did that partly under Arteta when he was there for a little bit. And now he's gone to a big, strong, fast striker in Haaland. And you've got Jurgen Klopp, who's also gone for a big, aggressive striker in Nunez. I know that's not quite worked out yet, but I do think that he's going to have a good season. I wonder, is that just a coincidence that arguably the two best managers in the league, and I think we probably all agree with that, have sort of deviated from the Firminos, the Jesus, the Agueros, the smaller, quick strikers to two big, powerful strikers.
And Ten Hag as well now, right, LB? Ten Hag as well.
Yeah, Sava's right there. He's done that. Is that just a coincidence that three big managers in this league at the three big clubs have all gone for big, powerful strikers, and Arsenal's still going with his false nine? Or is it just a coincidence? I mean, it could just be, but I'm interested to get your take on that, Lee.
No, you're right. You're spot on. Listen, this manager thinks he's Pep. Yeah, the difference is between him and Pep. Yeah, he does. He thinks he's a baby Pep. Yeah. Bro, look at you. I'll answer that in a second. Yeah, look at yesterday, right? He's playing a centre back from Ajax at left back. He was absolutely superb at left back yesterday. So why did he take him off? 1 minute after we take him off, we concede from that side. What are you doing? Yeah, he played him at right back the other day. And listen, he was superb at right back the other day. But he thinks, oh, I can bring him in and I can put him here and I can do this there. And if I drop him in here and play him inverted here, mate, stop complicating the game. Buy the best players in the positions that have mastered their craft in one position. Yeah, Haaland has mastered his craft. Nunez is all right. He's decent. He ain't great, but I do think this season he'll get better than last season. But we're poncing around with, well, what we'll do is we'll have Jesus floating into midfield, and then we'll ping him out there. Then he can come inside. Then we'll overlap here. Then we'll do inverted.
Lee, can I ask you a question?
Crap.
Who? Obviously, this is quite a dry striker market at the moment in the world.
Very dry.
Very dry. Who would you and the Arsenal fans realistically like to see? Because you've got Ramos, who's just gone to PSG. You've got Højlund, who's just gone to Man United. Obviously, Harry Kane's not going to Arsenal. Haaland's not. Who is it that you think would be that target man goal scorer? Who would you bring in?
Well, Harry Kane, definitely. Yeah, and then you say he's not going to Arsenal. If Arsenal went and whacked 130 million quid on the table,
he's not doing
for
it.
Daniel Levy to say no, isn't it? Yeah?
Not to Arsenal.
Well, but
they'd burn the stadium down, Lee. They'd burn the stadium down.
Well, they wouldn't, because your fans were all queuing up outside the club shop yesterday, and you ain't won nothing for 15 years. Yeah, the queue was round the corner. Yeah, I see it on somebody's Instagram.
Right, let's take Harry Kane out of it. You're not getting Harry Kane. Who are you going for?
Ivan Toney.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a good shout, you know.
Yeah. It's a good shout, but people will laugh at that, Saeed. People will laugh at that in the chat, but it's a good shout, man.
Yeah, but again, people sit there and go, oh, but he's suspended. And what? I guarantee you will outscore Eddie Nketiah, even with the suspension. Yeah, I guarantee he outscores Kai Havertz, even with the... And I think he can start training next month as well, in September.
Yeah,
so you get him into training, you get him up to speed in training, January he's ready to go. Yeah, what's wrong with that? I don't get it. And the thing is, Sever, I know you said about Harry Kane. Yeah, listen, Bayern Munich ain't got 130 million for Harry Kane. Arsenal have. Yeah, so if Arsenal get on the phone to you lot and slap that money there, firstly, Daniel Levy's got a choice. Do I take 130 or do I let him go for less than that?
He'd let him go. He'd let him go for less. He's not. Listen, as much as I hate Daniel Levy, this guy is not going to sell our best player for the last decade or two, whichever way you want to look at it, to you lot down the road. He simply wouldn't. I know you want it to happen. He wouldn't. He'd sell him to Man United for 130 million. He'd sell him to Man City for 130 million. He might even consider selling him to Chelsea for 130 million. He's not going to you boys. Let's be brutally honest.
I disagree.
I disagree. He's not.
I may be deluded here, Sava, but I disagree. If we went and put 130 million offer on the table, right?
Never.
And said, yo, he's got 11 months left on his contract, Daniel. There's 130, my friend. Now what does he do? Because now you've made that public that we've bid 130. Does he look an idiot and sell him for 90 to Bayern Munich or 100 to Bayern Munich? Yeah, then your fans will all be going, well, okay, at least he ain't gone Arsenal. But Daniel Levy's now just lost 30 million. Yeah,
I don't think he'll be brave enough.
Harry Kane would join
Mate,
Arsenal. I'm telling you now, he would join Arsenal if that offer was the only one accepted.
Wow.
I can tell you now that this is a dream. It's not happening. If you stuck 130 million down, Levy, listen, Levy is bad in so much that he does, but he's not that stupid. He would not sell him to you guys because he's already in a precarious place with the fan base, right? He would not risk selling Harry Kane to Arsenal. It's just a non-starter.
I don't think Harry Kane's got the minerals for it either, man. I don't think he's got the minerals.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Living in North London, playing for them.
Yeah. Mitrovic is a good shout, but he's a good shout, you know. But again, what does Arteta like? Does he like that bully boy? Does he like that kind of, you know, bullish, you know, I mean, striker? I don't think he does, to be honest with you. So I don't think it would work, to be honest with you. But he would be so direct that Martinelli and Saka would just go on the byline, cross it in, and he'd just have goals for fun, Mitrovic. I think so, for me. But let me ask you a question, Lee. Like, I know this is another season for Arsenal, but to me, they have to be challenging again. Do you think Arsenal are ready for the league? Like, in terms of when you look at the whole package, Saliba another season, you got Timber now, you've got a bit more depth at the back. Now Rice is in the team now. Man City across you there. LB's looking at you. Are you ready to challenge him again, or do you believe there's still naiveties in Arteta, the striker situation? Like, how are you feeling about the title?
No chance. There's only one team in the league that are serious, and that's Man City. That's it. Yeah, I think you'll finish above us.
Whoa.
Yeah, I said this with Frank the other day. The reason I think you'll finish above us, Man City are walking the title. Like, I don't care what anyone says. They'll win the league again. Yeah, because they've got a proper striker, a proper manager, a proper system, and they've got the know-how and the experience, and they'll do it again. Yeah, nobody can challenge that team until they get serious. Yeah, and we ain't serious, bro. Havertz and Eddie, I'm sorry, that ain't serious to me. Yeah, Man United, excuse me, I think we'll finish above us.
We've done enough, though. That's the problem, though.
Yeah,
do you think we've done enough more than you?
Right? I said this with Rance the other day. Yeah, you challenged on 3 cup fronts. Yeah, you were one David De Gea stupid moment away. Yeah, from going to a cup semi-final in the Europa League. You made it to the other 2 cup finals with the same squad, same team. Yeah, now you've added a focal point up front, you've added a better goalkeeper, and you've got legs in midfield. Mason Mount's not the greatest footballer in the world, but I'll tell you what, he'll run around a lot and he'll make himself a nuisance. Yeah, and he'll chip in with the odd goal.
I agree with you, Noli. To cut you on their point, I think we are a cup team, but I don't think we are a Premier League consistent enough for me to finish above you. A reason why I say that is, this is obviously the second season of Ten Hag. Away from home, we were garbage last season. That'll be a mad turnaround to be better in the Big 6 away games and to be also consistent home and away. I think Ten Hag is suited to the cups, but I still believe, for me, even though I want to banter Arsenal, even though I want to say we're going to finish above you, I think Arteta is more in his, I would say, you know what they say. What was
the biggest season in Arteta's career that he'll ever have? Yeah, because
100%. I agree with you. If he doesn't win a trophy this season, he should be sacked for me. I think for me. If Arsenal be serious, he should be sacked.
He's still got a job. Yeah, he's lucky he's still here. He should have been sacked when Villarreal beat us. Yeah, he should have been sacked when beat us. He should have been sacked when we got absolutely pammed by Aston Villa 3-0. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he should have been sacked when we were 15 for 5 weeks in a row. When Thomas Tuchel was sacked 20
Like, Lee, your mic's gone mad. You turned into Dalek there. Is your mic? Is that me or just is that?
Nah, it's Lee's mic, man.
Yeah, you turned into Dalek there. I was like, what's going on here?
It's consistency, right? It's consistency, guys, isn't it? Look, like Man United have added some good players, and I think they'll be better. I think, but you're right, Saeed. It's getting that. It's all well and good doing it in cups, but churning out week after week in the Premier League. You know, it's the games when you're not playing well. Can you get through those games? Listen, I think Man United, I think you've got a really good manager. I think you're going to be fine. But again, it's how quickly does Højlund adapt? And the question is, for me, with Man United, my question for them lately has always been, have they got enough goal scorers? Have they got enough players chipping in? If Højlund can get himself 15 in his first season, because he's only a kid, if Rashford can get another 15, 20, if Anthony can chip in with 7 or 8, Mount with 7 or 8, you know, once you start getting to that stage and a bit more consistency, I just don't know at the moment if you've got enough definitely to catch them lot for you next door in terms of LB's lot. And this is the thing. Man City have got so many big guns. I call them big guns, right? Man City have got so many big guns that if a couple of them have a day off, I mean, not saying they're not playing, but if a couple of them have a bad game, two or three of the others will turn up and score goals. And that's what the other clubs, for me, don't have yet. They don't have that. Alvarez can come in if Haaland's not scoring. Foden can if Grealish isn't. Bernardo Silva if Mahrez isn't. That type of stuff. So I think time will tell, but I think Man United have got a good team. Amrabat will help you. I think if you bring in Amrabat and you've got Amrabat, Casemiro, Bruno, Mount, Højlund, Rashford, Anthony, you're getting there. But I think not yet.
You know what it is
for me? Oh, go on.
Yeah. I'm just saying, big guys, 1.1k watching. There's only 269 likes. Let's get that out, people, man. It's a free show, good show. Please support the channel. Hit the like button. But yeah, go on, LB.
Yeah, no, the reason I've been saying, right, since basically the season ended, that I think Arsenal could struggle a little bit this year. And I'm not saying they will. Wouldn't surprise me if they had a good season. But the reason that I think Arsenal are not going to do as well as everybody thinks is because there's going to be huge pressure on Arteta to win a trophy, right? Last year in the Europa League, he hardly ever played like the big players, okay? In the Europa League last year, these are the top 10 players by minutes played for Arsenal in the Europa League. How many of these players would get into their Champions League team this year? Fabio Vieira, Rob Holding, Xhaka, Nketiah, Gabriel, Martinelli, Kieran Tierney, Lokonga, Matt Turner, and Tomiyasu. So out of them 10 players who played the most minutes in Europa League games last year for Arsenal, how many of them are realistically going to play in the Champions League this season? Probably about 2 or 3 of them. So the point that I'm making here is he's going to have to play his strongest players in the Champions League and then in the Premier League, which he didn't do last year. Further to that, if he gets another game like the FA Cup match that we had last year at the Etihad, he is not going to get away, in my personal opinion, with coming to the Etihad or going United or Spurs or whatever and playing a completely changed back line, because Arsenal fans want to see trophies. I think last year, whilst I said at the time I thought Arteta made a huge mistake at that game at the Etihad, because it made City fans and made City believe that actually we can beat these. These are shit. I don't think he's going to get away with that next year. He's going to have to play a stronger team in the Champions League and in the cup games, and I just think that might take its toll on Arsenal.
Do you know what? Yeah. I get a lot of stick when I talk about Arsenal, because straight away it's, oh, you're Spurs, you hate Arsenal, right? But I try and be as objective as possible. For me, I think Arsenal are a very good team. Very good team. But very good teams aren't the same as winning leagues and winning Champions Leagues, right? There's a difference. It's about going to that next level. I think Arsenal will be up there again in the top 3.
Agree.
Top 4. I just think there's, as LB said, they've now got Champions League football. You've now got to balance that. You've got to balance Champions League every week as well as Premier League. And you can't put in the Fabio Vieiras, the Holdings. You can't put them in. You've got to go with your strongest players. Yeah? And it's in those big games, can Arteta show that he's got what it takes? I'm not doubting Arteta yet. He's a young manager. But the difference is Pep knows what to do. Pep can see there's a massive game in 5 or 6 days this week in the Premier League. I'll tell you what, De Bruyne,
by the way. Did you see his comments?
Yeah.
After the game? Yeah. Saw his comments.
He's a madman. He's like, De Bruyne, you come and sit with me, right? You miss out this game. Rodri, you drop out this game. Diaz, come and sit here. Then when the big game comes around, they're all fresh. Arsenal at the moment, for me, have got a good team. I just still don't think they've got the depth. I don't think they've got enough forwards. I don't think they've got enough depth in midfield. And at fullback, I still don't think they've got enough depth. I'm not saying they're not a good team, but I think City are there and I think Arsenal are here. And to bridge that gap is really difficult. Not because it's Arsenal, because it's anyone. Bridging that gap is huge.
You're on, Saga. If you look at our bench yesterday, it's the same as last season. Yeah, and if you actually deep it, right? Because this fan base, they love to, when they go, oh, look, we've got squad depth now, and they put one player in 4 different positions. Yeah, like, oh, look, he can play right back, he can play left back, he can play centre back and DM. Okay, cool. Now, when he's injured, that's 4 positions missing.
Yeah.
Right, but my point is, right, when you actually look at it, Xhaka's left, he's gone. 14 GA last season. Declan Rice ain't getting that. Declan Rice don't score goals. Yeah, but can Declan Rice and Thomas Partey build a platform for the attacking players to go and make up that 14 GA?
That's the key as well, element as well, Lee. Spot on there. Because then it depends on what Arteta does. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be low blocks. And them low blocks, you can't go with Declan Rice and Partey. You have to manage it well. That's where Havertz comes in, maybe on the left 8, maybe. And he then is that kind of player that can bridge the gap. But listen, man, we're going to see what Arsenal are about.
If you actually look at it, Said, though, yeah, Xhaka went and left. We brought Declan Rice in. So that's 1 in, 1 out. So we've actually only gained 2 players. Yeah. And everyone's going on like, oh my God, we've bridged the gap to City. We've got all this. Mate, we've literally bought Kai Havertz as one of them 2 players. And the other one's Timber. Yeah, Timber looks fantastic, by the way. So really, for me, we've only really gained 1 extra player because I ain't counting Havertz. Yeah, until if that geezer wins me the title, cool, I'll change my opinion. Until then, he can jog on. I am not backing that.
If Rice and Partey were both injured, say suspended, whatever you want, what's the midfield 2?
Jorginho and Havertz.
Right. And this is the thing. So, for example, last year, not on the same level at all, Spurs lost both Basuma and Bentancur. But Basuma was out for 3 months, Bentancur for 6. Everything fell apart. I'm not saying we're great, but that's for us at our level. Now imagine at the we want to win a title level, you're dropping those 2 players that get injured, suspended, whatever happens to them. The drop off to Jorginho, who I like him, technically a good player, but hasn't got the engine for that. And Havertz or El Neni or whatever, that's the difference. Man City find a way. Man City make it work. Pep mixes it about. And
we're going to talk about Man City
Arsenal
now.
Fans hate hearing that from, like, when I say that, Arsenal fans just say I'm salty. I'm not.
That's because they're fragile, mate. It's all vibes. It don't matter about winning, Saga. Yeah, this football club, you guys, all of you have said Arsenal have to win. No, they don't. Yeah, the amount of Arsenal fans I've seen all summer tell me Champions League gets world-class players. Well, where are they then? Because we ain't signed one yet. Yeah, they're full of crap. Yeah, and it's all about vibes. And it's all like this time last year, I sat here and I rated our transfer window a 4 out of 10. They were like, oh, but we got Zinchenko and Jesus. I said 4 out of 10, mate. We needed a right winger. Well, we still need a right winger. We needed a striker. Oh, we still need a striker. We needed another midfielder. Oh, we still need another midfielder. Oh, we need another centre. Oh, we still need another centre back. Yeah. So and these people just sit there, pick up the carpet, brush it all underneath, and then come November, December, oh, we got a thin squad. Well, I did tell you all this in August. Yeah. And around the go till this August. And I'm saying it again. This transfer window's not been great. Declan Rice is quality. I like him. Timber's quality. Havertz, whatever, mate. Yeah, we still need a striker. We still need a right winger. We still need another CM and possibly a centre back. Yeah, but this manager will not go out and do that. And listen, I had this conversation yesterday, right? Kai Havertz is 100% his signing. There's no way that he is going to drop him this season. Yeah, in every game. He has to play him. He has to make it work. And that is ultimately the reason why he's either getting sacked this season or it's going to be a masterstroke and we win, saying.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to move on to Man City. 1.3K in the building. Big up to everybody who's supporting the channel. Like I said, make sure you follow in Lee Gunner channel, Lee Gunner Reacts. It's LB. Make sure you follow this channel as well. And also Football Heritage, you get me? Sava's doing, listen, I see you do a 3-hour stream yesterday. I was like, bro, Sava's putting in the work, mate. You know what I'm saying? So big up to Sava.
He's got bored of him and kicked him into the spare room. Into the office.
Yeah. Absolutely. Big up to Viva Benga. He sends a super chat here. I don't know if you wanted to say something there, but if you do say something, don't send a super chat because you've already donated. So big up to you. Foden. I want to talk about Foden. Big year for. I feel like it's every year it's a big year for Foden, but I feel like this year surely has got to be his year now. Phil Foden. LB, what are you saying? Can he break into this squad? Is he the guy? Like, is it Guardiola trust him? What are you saying, bro?
I think he's starting to trust him. I think that he is the heir to Kevin De Bruyne, in my opinion, and I think he'll be rotated with Kevin De Bruyne. You got to remember, Kevin De Bruyne's like 32 now, and he gets injured, semi-regular. So I think that he's going to be rotated massively with Kevin De Bruyne. I thought we looked a lot better when Phil Foden come on yesterday, and obviously Kevin De Bruyne was on the pitch as well. But I thought Phil Foden played really, really well. I mean, it sort of tells you how highly people. How high the standards are for Phil Foden, right? Because I'm not trying to comparison here or anything like that yet before the chat goes wild. But look at how everyone was gassing up Saka last year. If you look at Saka and Foden's numbers, there's not that much difference between their two numbers in terms of goals and assists last year. And Foden was playing with an ankle injury for 3 months. You know what I mean? So Foden is obviously held to a very sort of high standard, and he dips below that, and I think he gets criticised a lot. But I do think that Foden now is going to be, you're going to see him a lot more in the midfield position. I think that because Gundogan's gone and Kovacic has come in, which is a great signing for us, by the way. I really like the look of Kovacic. I think he's going to be a great addition for the squad, especially for 25 million. The one thing that Kovacic probably lacks is sort of goals and assists where Gundogan thrives. So I think in games where teams are just sat on the edge of the box or that sort of stuff, you will see maybe Kevin De Bruyne and Foden in there. But I do think it's going to be an interesting year for Foden, because I do think you're going to see him. Because what you got to remember is, there's a whole load of people that have never seen Phil Foden in his best position. I seen Phil Foden in the academy when he played in that midfield, and he played there with Sancho, actually, funny enough, Saeed, and them two were scary on the same pitch. Ibrahim Diaz, actually, I think he's at AC Milan now. That was an incredible academy team. So there's a load of people out there who've never seen Phil Foden in that midfield position, and I know what that guy can do in there. So I think that this is the year that you maybe start to see him be bedded in there. Will he start there every single game? Probably not. I think he will rotate on the right-hand side and maybe the left-hand side as well. But you are slowly going to start to see Foden in that middle. And I'm telling you, man, when the guy gets in there and he starts playing there a lot, you guys are going to see something special, because he is a very, very talented player in that middle. I mean, you've seen yesterday, I think he turned. I don't know who he turned, and he did change the game for us, I thought, when he come on.
Question for me, though, is Savo, and it's one of them, isn't it? Will he ever fulfill his potential, though? And you know, he's won trophies there. He's been part of the squad, but will he feel like he's the main guy in terms of an important guy? Because at the end of the day, some people want to feel like that. They want to feel like they're the main guy. They want to feel like they're important. What do you think about Phil Foden?
I feel like we're talking about him as though he's not done really well for about 5 years. I feel like if you actually, like, honestly, we're talking about him like he's an 18-year-old that's never broken into the team. I'm just looking at all of his league appearances, goals, assists, all of his Champions League appearances, goals and assists. This man's had an awesome career already, and he's 23, right? He's just turned 23. He got 16 goal contributions in 32 appearances for Man City last year, which is better than most players in the league. I think he can play off the left, he can play off the right, he can play in the hole. I think what people have got to remember with a player like that, to break into any Premier League first team as a kid is tough. To break in as a kid when you've got, players that he must have seen in front of him in his time would have been Sané, right? Grealish, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Mahrez. This guy, Pep's kept him there the whole time. He's never sent him on loan. He's kept him there. He's played over 35 games every single year for Man City for the last 4 seasons. The season before that, like 22 games, whatever. He scored goals in every season. His 11 goals last year, 9 before the year before that, 9 the year before that. He's got like 1 in 3 goal record. Every time he comes on, you can see this boy's quality. I think people want to hate on him for a reason I don't understand. For me, that boy, the England team, you want to be building around a player like that. And I think he will. I agree with LB. I think what you'll start to see is, I think he'll come into the middle more now that Gundogan's gone, that De Bruyne is, his legs are, you can see it, De Bruyne year on year, class act, but his legs are not going to cope with 90 minutes week in, week out. I think Foden's a sensational footballer who already, if he retired now, look at his trophy cabinet, look at his goal games.
I agree.
I think he's phenomenal.
No, I agree. I think for me, it's coming from a point of when will Pep Guardiola make him the kind of
the main man,
the linchpin of the main man.
Well, I think he's trying to mold him, Saeed. I think he's trying to mold him. And one thing that I would say is, I think there's an obsession sometimes in this country where you get a young player in, he's got to play every single game. I think that's actually the wrong thing to do. I think if you take, for example, you look at someone like Saka, I think it's actually good if Arsenal and Arteta took Saka out of the team for a couple of weeks. Now, of course, they can't do that with Saka because he's so vital, but I think it keeps the sort of, It keeps the hunger up for the player. I think that they can look back and they can reflect on previous performances, look where they can do well, maybe take a little bit more time to sort of identify and watch the game from the sidelines and think, oh, well, maybe I'd do that if I was on the pitch. I think there is a mad obsession in this country where as soon as a player comes through, they've got to play every single game. I think that's completely the wrong thing. And I think Pep Guardiola has managed Phil Foden perfectly well, to the point now where if we wanted to, Phil Foden could play left wing or right wing all season, right? And every single game, that's not a problem. When you're playing in that midfield, that's a more technical role. And for a manager like Pep Guardiola, you've got to have a more complete intelligence of the game. And I think he's just slowly molded Phil Foden into the point of being able to play that. Because when he played there from the academy, he was fine. But obviously, when you're playing against the best in the world, you've got to learn things. So I think there's a mad obsession in this country with just playing players.
Do you know what, LB? Do you know what, LB? I've just looked it up as well. Phil Foden, right, is 23. He's just turned 23. And he's played 218 games for Man City in all competitions. And when we're talking about making him the main man, in the last 4 years, he's played, going backwards from the year just gone, he's played 48 games, 45 games, 50 games, and 38 games. Like, I think this guy's great. I think he's doing everything right. He's playing plenty of minutes for the best team in the world. He's scoring lots of goals. He's making lots of assists. The problem is, when you go to Man City, to be the number one in that position, you need to be Haaland. You need to be Rodri. You need to be in a position where you generally don't rotate. No one really rotates a Rodri. You don't rotate an Erling Haaland. Grealish gets rotated. Bernardo Silva gets rotated. De Bruyne did. Gundogan did.
Pep Guardiola, innit? That's why.
He's Pep Guardiola. So the question is, if Phil Foden right now wasn't at Man City, first of all, he'd be at a worse club. I think that's facts. Wherever he goes, he's at a worse club. Second of all, how much are you gonna get for Phil Foden? You got Rice going for 105 million. You got Phil Foden
that's
who guarantees.
How much is he worth?
Right.
How much is he worth, Phil Foden?
And the thing is, to put that into perspective about the amount of games he's played, I've just checked with Bukayo Saka. Yeah, he's 22 next month. Yeah, and he's played 180 games for Arsenal. So he's literally, a year younger than Foden. A year and a couple of months younger than Foden and played 50 games less than Foden. So it's about on par with how many games Saka's played. But because Saka seems to be the mainstay and Foden comes in as bit parts here and there, everyone gets to that opinion of, oh, well, he can't stamp his authority on the team. He can't play every week. But he's actually played 50 times more than Bukayo Saka, and he's 1 year older. So it's about on par with Saka. It's just Saka plays, if you actually add up the minutes, Saka's played a lot more minutes. Yeah, but now put your trophies on the table. Yeah,
he's got everything to his game, Lee, right? I mean, if you watch him, technically he's brilliant. He scores, he assists, he can beat a man. His passing's brilliant. He's skillful. I just think
as well.
I think in this country, we have this habit of getting players. Like, first of all, players are either rubbish and they're nowhere near good enough if they're English and coming through. When we get a star like Foden, rather than people going, do you know what? How good is this player? Straight away, fans of every other club that aren't Man City start going, oh, he can't do this, or look at this. Name me another 23-year-old who's English that's better than Foden.
There ain't one.
There isn't one. He's quality. He's quality.
And the thing is, Pep's not stupid. Pep knows that De Bruyne's probably on his last legs. Yeah, and this is probably going to be the last little drop he can get out of De Bruyne, and then he'll be gone at the end of the season. Yeah, and he's going to... It is a big season for him. Yeah, but I do think that he's going to smash it. Yeah, and Pep playing a lot more this season in terms of starting games more. Yeah, finishing games more. Yeah, I think we'll see him play a lot more games this season. I think he'll go up another level. Yeah, and like you said, if he could retire right now, and he's got 5 league titles, isn't he? That's just ridiculous. Literally. He's got a Champions League, 5 league titles, loads of league cups, 4 league cups, is it?
Won a treble. Yeah.
And the thing is as well, Lee, to just add to that as well, this sort of rotation and management of Foden, this is only going to benefit from Foden's longevity in the game and therefore England as well, because how many young players do we see come through and they just get burnt out because they're playing every single game? And this is why I say it. I say this as a point for Arsenal, that I don't think it's a good thing that Saka's playing every single minute of every single game. For Arsenal, I think that he should be rotated out of there from time to time and given a proper rest on the bench. I think what Pep's done with Foden has been has been great. And I think we're just about to enter now a really exciting period for Foden because he's going to start playing more in the midfield, man.
Yeah. I think Sava's put some he's played all them games. Yeah. Listen, I think for me, my underlying kind of point was, everyone, we always talk about Foden and we're like, everyone's like, is this his year? And I'm like, well, he's winning trophies and he's also been a part of it. Listen, he scored a hat-trick against Man United in a derby. It's been, it was 1 point, I think he was 1 point top scorer for Man City at the start of the season. I think, was it this season or last season? Something like that anyway. But listen, Phil Foden is one of Manchester's own. I don't really hate on him because I think for me, anyone who's grew up in Manchester, I always I don't know, man. I just felt like, you know what, fair play to the kid, innit? So listen, it is what it is. I want to
Saeed, you can just quickly, really quickly before you move on, you can tell anyone, listen, this is where, when I talk about football bias, you can tell anyone in the chat who's an Arsenal fan, anyone going, oh, Martinelli's better than Foden, Saka's better than Foden. It's like, well, straight away, Foden can play right wing, left wing, and centre mid or attacking midfield. None of those two you could put in centre mid and watch them run a game. Right, so this is the problem. Biased fans of other clubs don't want players like Foden to get the recognition they deserve. Sorry, I just had to get that in.
Yeah.
No, but it's fine because if Saka and Martinelli are better, that's reason number 16,000,000,001 as to why we should win the league this season.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because we've got the best players in every position. They're all amazing. And Man City, no, they're winging it. Foden's crap, this, that, and the other. De Bruyne's legs have gone. Yeah, cool. No drama. They're weaker. Yeah. They've got rid of all of these players. Cool. We've no reason not to win the title then.
Yeah.
Facts. Big up to HN, says great panel, deserved a donation, great content as always. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Quickly, just LB, you kind of confident in the positions you got? Bernardo Silva might be leaving. Is he staying?
No, I think Bernardo's going to stay, bro. By the sounds of it, I think Fabrizio's come out this morning and said, or basically agreed that Bernardo Silva's going to stay, sign a new contract, which is going to be fantastic news if it happens. We need one more player. We need a winger, in my opinion, or like someone who could play midfield and the wing. I don't know if Valverde is a great option for the wing, but like someone who can do a bit of both would be great for us. And obviously, because we've lost Mahrez, but. Listen, I'm a massive fan of Cole Palmer. I think he's mint. And obviously he scored a great goal yesterday. But whether or not Pep feels that he might just need a 1-year loan deal before he comes into the first team properly, I don't know, man. But yeah, I think Pep said after the game yesterday that we're in for one more player. So obviously it looks like that's Elise, but he's injured. I say going to buy him and he's injured. Who knows? But yeah, I think one more signing. And obviously we need to know what's going on with Kyle Walker. Well, that's a bit of a weird one, to be honest. But... We're looking all right, man. We're looking decent. Just need a winger, ideally, man. And then I think we're all right.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to segue into Tottenham. There was a super chat before regarding Tottenham Hotspur. Before I bring that, Keller said the Community Shield performance has given me confidence going into the season. League is a stretch, but I think Cup double is achievable. Great panel. And here, Red Smoke says, to the Spurs, lad. This is Savo. He says, when you lose Mr. Spurs, aka Kane, do you feel like you could compete with top four? I'm not sure. Europa League places at best. So without Harry Kane, can you compete with top four? What are you saying, Sava?
I don't think at the moment we're competing with Harry Kane for top four. I think the wrong questions are being asked. I think there's a lot of work to do at Tottenham. There's a lot of work to do before we start talking about joining the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Man Cities, and the Arsenals. There's a lot of work to be done. Spurs this year will score goals for fun. I have no doubt about that. Postecoglou wants to attack. The worry is, I think we're going to concede goals for fun unless we sort out in the next couple of weeks another couple of defenders. Because Van de Ven's a good player, it's not enough. We saw it yesterday in the friendly against Shakhtar Donetsk, who are not the greatest team. That if you spring that back line with this high line, you will get joy. And better teams will punish us. With Kane, if Kane stays and we sort out that defence and everything goes right, everyone stays fit and Maddison has a great year and Kane and Son do and the defence is good, we could get top 4 or 5. If we don't sort out that defence and if Kane goes, I still think we're going to be 7th or 8th. And I don't think I've moved away from that opinion, lads. I think I've been saying that for the last however many weeks we've been doing this show. For me, the main thing, this is going to sound weird, isn't Harry Kane. The main thing at the moment is at the back. We can't defend. And if we don't sort that out, there's the issues. But look, Harry Kane, I think he will stay now. I think the longer this is going on, I think he will stay. I genuinely don't think Levy's going to accept the bid. But do you know what? If he does,
well, this will be interesting, Saga, because obviously we've had a lot of conversations, haven't we, about Kane, me and you, and we have a bit of a difference of opinion on this one. And I think that if Harry Kane does stay at Spurs, I think that Spurs because obviously it's top 5 as well, isn't it, this year? That's right.
Top 5.
So we need to start saying top 5, not top 4. I think that Spurs, despite their poor defense, I just think he's that good, man. I just think they've got a great opportunity of getting that top 5. They've not got any European competition. And I just think if they can keep Kane, man, I just think he's that good. I think they've got a great opportunity of getting top 5. I really do.
Look, I just see Tottenham had the worst defence in the Premier League. Sorry, not our worst ever defence in the Premier League. We conceded 63 goals. The problem is none of the teams that are getting top 4 or 5 are conceding 63 goals. We can score as many as we want. It will, at the moment, and I'm not blaming Postecoglou on this. I like Postecoglou. I think he's going to be a really good manager. It's small things to sort out. Like there's talks about Tapsoba or Laporte. If one of those comes in, all of a sudden there'll be, I'm on your side. Right? If one of them comes in, I'm going, right, now you've got Romero, Van der Ven, and Tapsoba / Laporte, whoever. I don't think he'll come, by the way, but if you do not fix that defence, we're going to concede so many goals again. And I would love to know the last time a team that concedes that many goals got Champions League football. So, we're going to score goals.
Your defence is arse. I think it's the worst defence last season out of the top 14 teams in the league. So what Sava's saying about the defence is spot on. But I'll come back to the point that up until that Southampton game, you guys were in the top 4. You know what I mean? So we can't...
a bit of false narrative, though. We'd played 3 more games than everybody else. And the moment those teams played their games in hand, we were 5 or 6 points off. I get your point, LB, but the problem is, even from last season, look how everyone's strengthened. United have strengthened again. You know, Arsenal, depending on what you believe, you know, they're going to still be strong. Man City is still strong. Newcastle are adding players. Brighton are adding players. Chelsea have gone strong. So I get you. I don't think we'll be a million miles away, but sort that defence out. I think we're a really good team. If you don't sort that defence out, I really worry.
If you sort that defence out, Sava, there's really no excuse for me for not coming top 5. I mean, you've got...
I agree.
Probably one of the top 3 strikers in world football. You've got to assume that Son is going to be better than he was last year. Kulusevski, fingers crossed. I mean, that's no guarantee, but you've got to assume. I mean, he was poor last year by his standard. Kulusevski the same. And like I say, if you strengthen that defence, then surely you're going to get top 5. I mean, you guys are playing 1 game a week with that striker.
I agree with you, but it's strengthening that defence. It can't be like when we're linked with Longley week after. It can't be a Longley. It's got to be. I've said I don't think there's any way Laporte would want to come to Spurs. But I've even said for someone who hates the owners,
but then now you've got Van der Ven.
Go and get him. If Spurs somehow manage to convince Laporte, I've said I'll do a stream where I go, you know what, Daniel Levy, fair play to you. I hate you, but that is the type of signing that makes me think
a right centre back.
There's some ambition.
You need a right centre back though. We're going in for Todibo now. Who plays for Nice. Again, he would be a good option for Tottenham. But again, I don't know what you guys want. I think he has come out and said though that you guys are looking for another centre back. The manager and Postecoglou.
He said he came out yesterday after the game. If anyone watched that game yesterday, bear in mind it's a game we won 5-1. Postecoglou was losing his mind with certain players on the side of the pitch because they couldn't do the basics and they can't play his aggressive style of football. He said after the game, we need 2 more defenders. We need 2 more defenders to come in that can play in an aggressive style of football. And he's not talking about aggressive defenders, but playing in that aggressive attacking football. You add in a Laporte or a Tapsoba, things change. But we don't just need 1 defender side. We need loads. And Van der Ven actually gives you an option that you could bring in another left-sided centre-half, and Van der Ven could go to left-back. And then you could have Porro on the right who goes forward, and you almost do what City do, and you go to a free. Van der Ven tucks in, and he makes it a free. So, listen, I like LB's confidence in Spurs. I just watching that defence year in, year out has scared the bejesus out of me. And I don't know if Van der Ven alone is enough. I think we need two, and one more definitely, maybe two more. And I think we'll be a very good team that people like to watch. But there's lots of ifs in what I said. Lots of ifs.
Yeah. Lee, what do you think of Tottenham? New manager, you know what I mean? It should be a bit more entertaining now, the derby day, you know what I mean? What do you reckon?
Well, firstly, I think it's an absolute farce that 5 spots are available for Champions League.
True. I agree.
It's called Champions League, yet you can finish 5th in your league and get into it. Pathetic. Absolutely shambolic. Yeah, it shouldn't even be top 4 because all that does is lower the standards, but now it's top 5. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, before much longer, they might as well just enter everyone into it. Burned in there. Right.
It keeps fans happy, innit? That's what it does now. It keeps his fans happy. Like, we made Champions League.
That sums up modern football, mate. Everyone's happy just to qualify for a competition they're never going to win. Right? Do you know what I mean? It's pathetic. But as for Tottenham's manager, I actually think he's a decent manager. Yeah, and the way he'll get them playing. Yeah, I've got a couple of mates that live here that are Scottish, and they're Celtic fans. They loved him, man. Yeah, the style of play was insane. So, and I actually watched them against Madrid. I watched them against Shakhtar, the Champions League. Yeah, and mate, they could have been 5-0 up against Madrid. If they had a striker, they would have been. Yeah, at half time. So Tottenham fans are it's gonna be interesting because Tottenham fans, most of them, I know Saga doesn't, but most of them are just happy to see good football and not win anything. But they're gonna go and spank a few teams this season, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, but they're also gonna get spanked a few times this season.
I agree.
And the thing is, I don't think they've got enough to get into the top 5 as it stands. But I do think they should sell Kane. Yeah, and I think if they get rid of Kane, that they'll finally get that hoodoo off of their back. Because we had this with Thierry Henry. Yeah, we got rid of Thierry Henry. The following season, we were in a title race till March. Yeah, and the following season, we got a Champions League semi. Yeah, and Cesc Fabregas even came out and said, we had to keep passing the ball to Henry. And Tottenham, we got the same. Give it to Harry. Yeah, so as soon as you get rid of that player, as good as he is, and he is unbelievable, yeah, I think that there'll be a better team. Yeah, and you'll start seeing the best of some players that are now playing with a bit more freedom rather than, I've got to give it to Harry Kane. Yeah, no, I do think that if Daniel Levy gives him the money on top of the Kane money, yeah, I think he needs to go and buy another centre back. I think he needs at least 2 midfielders.
Yeah, we need a number 6, Lee. We need a proper defensive midfielder because I was going to sound like a 12-year-old. The Ange Postecoglou's style of football relies on everyone goes forward. Like someone in there said, Laporte wouldn't be good in a team that doesn't have possession. Watch Spurs now under Postecoglou. We have a lot of the ball. We've had like 70%, 80%, 70%. Problem is, we get sprung so easily going that way on counter-attacks. But if you have got a solid DM, like in the days when we had a Wanyama and the days when we had Toby and Jan, and the reason I bring that up is Rose and Walker as attacking fullbacks just went. They went knowing that Wanyama will drop in with Toby and Jan and you won't get hit on the counter-attack. Same way that City play a massively high line right now. But they've got the assurances of a Rodri sitting there. They've got top quality centre-halves. That's the difference. We do. You're right, Lee. Sorry to cut in. We do. We need a number 6.
Mate.
Definitely, mate.
You definitely need 2 midfielders. I think Maddison's going to be a great signing for you. I'm fuming that he's gone to you. I love that guy, man. He's such a sick footballer.
I love him. I
think you need another winger. Yeah, because as good as Kulusevski is, he disappeared for most of last season. And I think that, the way he's going to have to run around and get up and down, yeah, I think he needs to add a lot more goals to his game. I do like him. I think he's a top player, but you need somebody else in that position. You need 2 midfielders, 1 DM, 1 CM. I think you need 2 defenders, definitely a centre back. Obviously, you're looking at that, and I do think you need another fullback.
There's a lot to do. That's why I'm saying this year for me, everyone constantly keeps going, where are we going to finish? Where do you think Spurs will finish? This year for me, I'm not so bothered about it. For once, we've got a manager that's going to implement a philosophy. Let him have this year for the players to get used to the philosophy, the way that Klopp had that time at Liverpool, the way Arteta's had that time at Arsenal, the way that Pep had that first year at Man City where they weren't winning things. Let Postecoglou get this into the players. Then we go again next summer, and then let's start putting expectations. For me, I just think football fans want everything right now. And you can't go from being the awful team we were last year with no style of football, finishing 8th, to all of a sudden Spurs should be winning trophies and Just
I
slowly,
disagree.
slowly build. No,
I totally disagree.
we're not good enough, mate.
No, you can be. Yeah, and listen, we've seen
Bird
loads
mentality,
of
man.
Yeah, exactly. Right off another season. Come on, Sav, you're better than me.
No, I'm not right. No, I'm not writing the season off. I'm not writing the season off. Hang on. We've had 5 seasons now where we haven't had a style or a play of football. Right? We've had 5 seasons where the fans have hated watching us. We've had 5 seasons where the players that are still there now have been held back, shackled in. Now I'm saying, I want to give a manager some time for once. For year one, it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be a bumpy road. There'll be games where we batter teams, games where we get battered. Let the manager see it out. Let the team get used to it. Then next summer, we start to put the proper expectations in. So this year, get European football again, build the team. Let's start seeing a philosophy. Then we go again, then you go again, then you go again. But what Spurs fans will do is the moment we lose 2 or 3 games in a row, it will be, this guy's from Celtic, he's no good, let's get rid of him. And it can't be that. It really can't. It's going to be bumpy, Lee. It's going to be really bumpy.
Can I just come in as well on that one, Saga, as well? I know it's slightly different with Pep, but in that first year that he come to City, we had some horror show performances. I mean, I remember getting smacked up by Leicester City. Everton, I think, scored 4 against us away.
I remember that.
And there was a lot of people questioning Pep and his tactics and his players. And you really have to sort of just say, we've got to stick with him here. You know what I mean? The manager has to have belief in it, because if he starts thinking, actually, maybe I am wrong, then it's going to go to pot. So, you are spot on, man.
No one wants time. No one wants time. Sorry, I know you want to wrap up. No one wants time.
For nobody, mate. Yeah, at the end of the day, you've got 15 years without a trophy. The aim this season,
but we're not there.
You're going to get
there. We're not ready.
No, but you are ready to go and win a trophy. If Leicester can win an FA Cup, surely Tottenham can.
Yeah,
like,
that's what they have to focus on as well.
Yeah, go and win.
I agree. Yeah.
Win the cups.
Listen, I'm not saying we don't go for it. Winning it is easier said than done. The problem is there are better football teams than Tottenham at the moment. There are. I'm not saying Postecoglou shouldn't go all out to win a trophy, unlike Conte, right? Yes, he should. But that doesn't mean we're guaranteed to win one. All I'm saying is sometimes just quickly, sorry, I really know you want to wrap up. Yeah. I said this last week. When you look at all of the best teams throughout Premier League history, other than Chelsea, who are the anomaly, Chelsea are the only one that throughout that period of success sustained success. Chelsea changed their manager every 18 months to 2 years. But Chelsea were buying the world's best players, had such a good spine. They were winning things every year. Arsenal with Wenger, their dominance. Man U with Fergie, their dominance. Man City with Pep. Liverpool's trophy-laden years in the Premier League era under Klopp. All of these managers had time to go and build. Nowadays, football fans go, right, year one, managers in, go and win. It's like, whoa, there's so much work to be done at this football club.
Yeah, but Sava, let's be real with it. Sorry, Syed, I know you want to shoot off, right? Yeah, the 3 most successful clubs on the planet in the last 19 years have had 17 managers each. Yeah, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. So, but they're doing it with top players. They're doing it with top players, Lee. Right? Spurs aren't that. No, that's cool. But at the same time, the expectation is to win. You've got no expectation to win, so you're like, let's give this guy time. For me, I think
mate. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. You can't just go from a team that's not won anything from 15 years and has been run so badly to one summer with a new manager and we go, right, we should be winning. Try and win, sure, but fans need to be patient. If you want to build and grow, you've got, like LB just said, Man City had all the money in the world, brilliant players, the best manager in the world. Year one, what did he do?
Finished
right?
fourth.
Yeah.
Okay, but Man City had top players. Spurs are the next level down. We're the next level down.
So go and win their cup. Yeah, forget the league. You ain't winning the league. Yeah, so it doesn't matter whether you finish. Doesn't matter whether you finish second or 17th.
But it's not that easy, is it? It's just not that easy.
Well, it is. You set yourself up in a cup game to go and make sure you're hard to beat, and you're going to go and do the do's. Yeah,
okay. Okay. Hang on. No, this is mad.
So can get to a cup semi. Surely Tottenham can.
Sure. Okay. Sure. I'm not saying we can't, but when Spurs go and play, at some point you're going to play the better teams. Right? At some point, you're going to play the better teams. Are we better than Arsenal right now? No. Are we better than Liverpool? No. Are we better than Man City, Man United right now? No. Are we better than Brighton right now? No. Right? So, yeah, go for it. But just because you go for it doesn't mean you're going to win it. Those teams on their day, they're going to go for it and they're still better than us. So build and grow. If you can get a cup, great. But this expectation that we failed if we don't win a cup in year one with a new manager, that's just not right. That's not right at all.
This is why you're on 15 years without one, my friend.
No, it's not.
I wish we could carry this conversation on.
Simon, man, you can't drop a debate like that.
No. You know what? We'll carry it on for next week because I think this could go back and forth all day, man. But people, we're going to wrap up here. Big up to everybody here. Still 1.5K in the building. Make sure you like the video, people, man. It's been a good debate. Lee is back. Lee is back streaming. He's back live. He's enjoyed his 1,000 holidays, but he's back on YouTube now and he's ready for the new season, Lee. Well, big up to you, man.
No, I'm not, man. I'm not. I was going to try and long it out until the end of August because it's nearly 40 degrees here this month, all month. Yeah, and I'm sat in here streaming all day. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I was enjoying just uploading one video and going down the beach, but there we go. It is what it is.
Yeah. Now, big up to you, man. Make sure you follow him. Like I said, Lee Gunner and Lee Reacts as well, man. Both channels are flying at the minute, man. So make sure you follow him. It's LB. Big up to you, man. Always for coming on, bro.
Yeah, man, I don't have a beach in it. Could go down the canal, but just ain't the same, bro.
No. Don't go down the canal. Stay safe. But big up to you, man. And Saga, as always, pleasure, mate. Big up to you, man.
Yeah, the closest thing I've got is the River Thames, so I don't think I'm going to be sunbathing there. But thanks for having me on, and thank you. A few of your people have subscribed throughout the show, so thank you to that. Really appreciate it. Chasing down the 10K.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely, man. Big up to you guys. And like I said, man, make sure you follow in everyone's channels. I'll be back 5 p.m. people for another show as well. So make sure you tune in. I will see you next Monday for the Midday Live. Peace.